Well, with anxiety, stress, burnout, and depression at all-time highs, a recent study says journaling can ease those mental health challenges and even lead to lower depression scores.
Yeah, that's right. Lisa Tenner is the author of The Joy of Writing Journal. Spark your creativity in 8 minutes a day. And Lisa joins us now with her top journaling tips for well-being, which we could certainly all use. Lisa, nice to see you this afternoon.
Great to see you too.
Well, first of all, I think it's important to discuss the state of mental health right now. What are the numbers looking like for depression and anxiety, especially coming out of the pandemic?
It's really sobering. Boston University researchers studied college students and their mental health and found that depression had jumped 135%, anxiety had jumped 110% in 8 years.
Okay, so Lisa, while not a substitute for a mental health professional, how can journaling help relieve those issues?
Well, a study showed that 12 weeks of journaling and journaling out your emotions can relieve anxiety, can decrease mental distress, and can help people just feel better, more sense of well-being.
So let's talk about what that looks like, because people say, like, okay, what does that mean I have to write about? Do I have to write my emotions, or I write how my day went, or what do you? I mean, I remember keeping a diary when I was a little girl, but if I go back and look at that, I don't want to write that nowadays. That's like way too much out there. What does journaling look like, though? What do you write about?
You know, there's so many ways to do it, and certainly journaling about your emotions is fantastic. But another thing is, if you have certain problems or challenges that you're really struggling with, you can journal about that. And it's fine to do sort of the negative in the beginning, but you don't want to get stuck there. So I would say, think like, what would be a new perspective on this? How else can I look at this? Or even just be curious. And when you're curious and you start exploring it, amazing things can happen.
Okay, so tell us, how has journaling changed your life?
Oh, wow. Well, I was a nonprofit director and really burnt out, and I had chronic fatigue syndrome. So it was a pretty tough time in my life, and I started journaling, and the change was profound. I found insights and internal resources that helped me recover from that illness. And after that, I actually, as I was journaling some more, I got emboldened to actually quit that nonprofit job. And my journal helped me discover an idea for a book that got published by HCI.
Oh, wow.
And then I didn't really know what was next, and journaled some more and came upon the idea of becoming a book coach, and that makes me happy to get up every single morning.
That's what it's all about, that's for sure. Well, if journaling is new for somebody, how do they get started with that? You have to find the perfect, I always feel like you have to find the right journal so you feel good about going and sitting down and you know, being with it every day.
Yeah, well, you know, there are a number of ways. One thing is just set aside time first thing in the morning and get those emotions out of your head and mind and onto the page. And that sets yourself up for a great day. Another thing you can do is you can bring a journal with you, like maybe a small notebook even, and on your commute you could be writing. So there are lots of ways to get started. For some people, a blank page is kind of hard, and a prompts journal is wonderful because it asks you questions and gets you started.
I like to think if you have time to worry about something and go over something over and over in your head, you have time to journal. But for someone who says, I barely have enough time to do anything these days, how can I find time to journal? What would you say to them?
Well, first of all, you probably have time for Instagram or email, or so you probably have 8 minutes a day. And, you know, really in 8 minutes, it can make a big difference for your day. So you can't afford not to journal. And, you know, set a timer 8 minutes earlier than you normally get up, or set an alarm rather, and let that wake you up. Journal for 8 minutes, and you'll find that over the course of time it makes a difference. Just be consistent about that time.
I like you put it like that, because it makes it feel like I can do it. I'm like, okay, 8 minutes I can do, and you're right, I spend a lot longer than that on Instagram. So let's talk about your book, The Joy of Writing Journal, and where can people find it?
They can find it on online retailers everywhere, Amazon, bookshop.org, all of that. And what's special about it, I would say, is that it does have these prompts and questions. So you know, you don't start with a blank slate and it really walks you along. But the other thing is that I have these QR codes in it. Let's just turn to one. And so you can scan it with your phone, right, the QR code, and watch videos or listen to audio meditations. They'll get you in the spirit, it'll get you in a great space, and you've got me coaching you. So you're not doing it alone, you feel connected, and you'll find other people in the videos too. So it's really fun and engaging and about community in a way as well.
That is great.
I love how you shared that you kind of basically journaled your way into a new career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.